Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Saturday, the 31st of August, 2024. So then the synoptic situation, this was as of midnight last night, lovely 300k evening. Caution these warm fronts that are over Europe at the moment, because if I advance that now, you can see the warm front actual warm front is just over the south coast at midday today, and clearly we've got quite a bit of a cloud associated with the leading edge of that warm front that's going to affect our operations today. Note as well this trough line embedded just behind the front, that's going to have some pretty heavy showers on it. I don't think they're going to affect us here in the UK throughout our flying day. Spot winds today are going to be literally easterly 15 knots. Further south you go towards the front, it's going to be a little bit stronger, about 30 knots or so. So the frontal weather, I use this sat pic today. It's not the best of, but you can see quite clearly in there, if I run that through and just stop it for a minute, you can see quite clearly in there the cloud associated with that warm front now, and that trough line has got these very heavy showers on it, sat over sort of Antwerp, Paris, that Paris sort of way at the moment, which are on their way towards us, but I think they'll fizzle out by the time they actually reach UK, which will be sometime tomorrow. Okay, so rain radar then is showing a little bit of rain actually at the moment over towards East Anglia. We're pretty well clear here. Note down in the south now these very, very heavy showers I've just mentioned. And if we run through the predicted rain forecast for today, I've got to increase the size of the countryside so you can see this is all the real heavy stuff associated with the actual warm front, but I don't particularly think it's going to cause us a problem throughout the day, other than we are going to have a lot of top cover. That's clearly going to keep the heat down and reduce any opportunities of thermals. Notice this shower here. There's going to be an odd shower come through later on today, may or may not hit Lasham. I think we're probably going to be fine, and it should be good for the evening group as well. Okay, local forecast then is sort of overcast pretty well all day. Wind easterly, northeasterly, 13 knots or so. There's a couple of gusts of 26. I don't think we're probably going to get quite that strong today, but certainly a steadily easterly flow over us all day. GFS is giving us a max temperature today of 21 degrees with a dew point down at about 10. So it's a reasonable split. If you're outside the window at the moment, you can see the overcast or grey overcast getting thicker. That was in a 20-minute update. A wind pretty well just northeasterly, and temperature at the moment at Lasham is now 14 degrees with a dew point down at 12, and you see the temperature and dew point are very, very slowly starting to climb. Dave's prediction today could be soarable to 5,000 feet. I think that was this was probably done a couple of days ago. I still think it could be soarable to 3,000 foot underneath the medium cover, actually. So I think locally we may get some soaring to about 3,000 feet here. I don't think we're going to get heavy rain, but possibly some showers this afternoon. Right, Odium is giving us today 8 knots from the northeast, no taff at weekends, of course. And if I go to Farnborough, 8 knots from the northeast, visibility 9,000 meters. And if I run through between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, 10k or more, no low clouds, just the frontal system. Top Meteo is giving us a yucky sort of day for cross country, but they are indicating some thermal. So if I run this through, this is 11 o'clock local. They're giving some thermal, so about 2,800, 2,900 feet perhaps locally, 12 o'clock. And then you've got a window of about an hour and a half, 2 hours perhaps, where we get some soarable weather, possibly a little bit of cumulus. This is indicating blue, but it's indicated blue all week, and we had pretty well cumulus pretty well every day. So but then it dies very quickly. So this is now at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Sky sight's pretty similar, dire forecast around here. And if I run through the point forecast, you can see that the cloud base is slowly going to rise from what we've got now. But there is a lot of top cover, Bit of cumulus maybe for a few hours, or cumulus underneath the overcast for a few hours, and then the top cover really thickens up later on as the actual front hits us. It's indicating northeasterly winds here. We've actually got pretty well easterly winds down the strip, 10, 15 knots. Gust perhaps later. No TAMS. There's a couple of things locally, but I don't think people will be going too far. But I'll just briefly go through them. Evening fireworks at Aldershot is 24, obviously clear, not a problem. There's air display at White Waltham from 12 o'clock till 5 o'clock this afternoon, that's 26. 25 as usual, telephone number change for Odium. 28 paragliders at Buckland in Oxfordshire. 30 and 31 are parachute dropping at Bryce this afternoon. 3:40 till 5 local, and fireworks in the evening. So airfield setup for today then. Start with the cross section. You can see this very thick cloud associated with the front getting lower and lower and lower as the day goes on, but there is some embedded strata possibly they're indicating 3-knot air mass thermals for a couple of hours throughout the day, which I mentioned earlier. The wind 07012 with gusts of 22, thereabouts. So no planned movements for today. The top cover ahead of the warm front will thicken throughout the day. There's possibly some weak thermals locally up to about 3,000 feet for a short while. Small chance of a shower or two mid or late afternoon. Easterly wind all day. We're going to set up a runway 09, and I'm fairly confident there'll be no appetite for a grid, but if there is or it's excessive, we'll go on 09 grass north. 5 K21 serviceable, available all day. One on the booking system with Jeff Clark. Charles Sweeney and our Knights have booked a K21 throughout the day. I've just spoken to our trial flights guy, and he's going to take a K21 today. SH4, 6 and 8 are booked. All remaining K13s and K21s available for the casual list. So I suggest today we take out 4 K21s and any book single-seaters as required. Reminder about the buggies, please. They're not insured for people not in the seats, so no one on the rear, and the simulator is available if required. Here's the actual booking list today. Jeff's got Full House. Tim Robson's got XLT4 today with Peter Wales. They might be able to get something out of the day, and the other gliders as booked. Okay, so we're going to set up on 09 today. I put stragglers and grid. That's sort of, I could get rid of them, but they'll need to put them on the next day. So disregard them unless there's enough people to set up a grid. We'll be on a standard 09 operations, a bit of north to the wind just. So we'll have the cables right on the very edge of the runway, and we'll air tow to the north side as required. Okay, guys and gals, I'll see you out in the airfield. The launch point vehicle's already set up there with good old Ronald McDonald. So I'll see you out on the airfield in the next 10, 15 minutes or so. Bye.